Hey everyone, Neil here. We're gonna do another episode. Oh, what are we gonna do? This one's gonna be a seriously blended episode. Because I actually have four. I'm holding up four fingers right now. You can't see it, but I have four different things that I want to cover. So this is like the big in between. We don't want development, we want production. Because development is where I do everything that you don't see. So in that way, I can go through and learn all the classes and methods and everything on the down low. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to come into our blocks class, right? And like I did before, let's do this. Let's do ors. We have nether ors down there. Let's do public static. No, let's not do that. Let's do gems, and then we will do public. Still can't spell it. Public static block topaz ore. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a topaz ore that is a lot like a diamond ore in the sense that there is an ore that spawns. You mine it, there's no silk touch going on, and as soon as you mine it, it turns into the item that you want rather than the ore itself that you then have to go and smelt. So, gems, we're going to do this the easy way. We're just going to copy and paste this bad boy right in here, and we're going to copy and paste the topaz ore where we want it, like so. So, as with all of these, we now need to come in and generate them. So we are going to say reg block, and we are going to have reg block ng blocks dot topaz ore, like so. We're going to close it up with a semicolon. Boom, that's in there. So we've declared it, we've initialized and registered it, we have now rendered it, but there's something unique that we want to do with this, and that is rather than returning the ore, we want to return the item. So we have to come into our ng items class. We are going to do a public static item topaz ore. No, we don't want topaz ore because we're not returning it. We want a topaz stone. There we go. We will copy and paste this bad boy. Gems. And let's just get this out of the way. Ingots. We'll paste that in. Let's drop in our topaz stone. There, and there. Quick seed adjustment. So we've done that. Let's make sure, and I may have already done this. Topaz ore, which is going to be similar. So here's our nickel ore, right? We have our mod ID. We have adjusted the name. Let's do our topaz ore. Again, mod ID, the name of the item. So we're good. So we have the item model. Do we have the block model? We do. We have our block state model. We do. Is it in our lang file? Do we have textures? So textures, we do have that there. I've already created this beforehand. And actually, if you want to see my texture, I'm going to go into my development folder because I've already done this already because I go through everything in advance, as you know. NG, textures, blocks. Where is our topaz ore? So there's our topaz ore. Sweet. So that's in there. I feel like there's something. Oh, yes, of course, there's something I need to do. We need to make it drop an item rather than the ore itself. So, what we're going to do, we're going to go into our block class. Alright, so we have our blocks open here. We're going to go into our block class, and this is where we're essentially defining what happens with the block itself. And we are going to say public item get item dropped. This is going to be an I block state, and we will just call this state. We are going to say random, and we'll call that rand, and this will come into play later when we do other ones. We don't want the comma there. And we're going to also throw in a figure for fortune, because we may want to do ones later that have a specific type of fortune to them. So we're going to Control-Shift-O. We're going to do item. We're going to do java.util for our random. And it's looking for something. It wants a return statement because we didn't choose void on here. So what we're going to say is we're going to do return. This is going to be equal to ng blocks dot topaz ore. And essentially what we're saying, this is kind of like a mini if then else statement, right? So we're going to do, if it's topaz ore, we're going to return ng items dot topaz stone. And so what else do we need? Because this is like an if then else statement. So we're going to put this in. So if it's a topaz ore, we're going to do this. Else, what are we going to do? We're going to say item dot get item from block, and we're just going to put this at this point. So pretty much what we're saying is, if it's a topaz ore, we want to drop a topaz stone. Otherwise, we're just going to get the block from it. So if you have a topaz ore sitting next to a nickel ore, what's going to happen is when you mine the topaz ore, right here, it's going to drop a topaz stone. However, if you're mining the nickel ore next to it, it's just going to return the item, and we're going to get the item from the block, which is nickel ore. Oh, shit. Fuck. There we go. We're just going to return that ore in this particular case. So we're going to save that up. It doesn't like it. And that's because I haven't saved this for our topaz stone. So now it likes it because topaz stone is actually there. I have all this other bullshit in here. The topaz ore. Do I have the topaz stone? It doesn't look like I do. That's going to be a problem because our topaz stone isn't going to render right. So let's just jump in to Minecraft and we're going to look at this. see what's happening. We got some errors back here. Yeah, it's saying that we don't have anything for our topaz stone. So, we're going to jump into that. Let's embiggen it. Our creative tab. We have our topaz ore, right? That's in there. I put it in our lang file. But we don't have the topaz stone. So let's do this. Let's lay out a few of these. We're going to change our game mode. There we go. So, you'll see that it drops an item. It's not the ore. When we pick that item up, it is our stone. Alright, so now what we have to do is we have to create a, what's the word? All of our assets for that. So, we're going to come back over here to our main modding folder. We're going to go into vanilla assets. And essentially what we're doing here is we're treating this topaz ore like a diamond ore, right? So you mine a diamond ore without silk touch, and it drops a diamond itself. Fairly straightforward. So we're going to do models, item. We are going to look for diamond, right? So this is our model file. This is the item. We're going to hit Control C. We're going to come to this guy right here. We're going to do a new and an other and an untitled text file. We're going to save it as under the correct folder, of course. Under item, and we're going to save this as topaz stone, like we specified, and we're going to put JSON on the end of it. We're going to copy and paste that, and we're going to change this. Of course, we're going to put in our mod ID, and we're going to change diamond to topaz stone, like so, just like we did with our last item. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to get my texture for the topaz stone. I have this in another folder, and you'll see it here in a second. I'm going to paste it in there. There we go. Now if you want to see what this looks like, how I did the topaz stone, it's pretty straightforward. We're going to navigate to our textures folder, our items, and our topaz stone. It's a diamond, and I just adjusted the hue via paint.net to make that happen. So now let's jump in and see how that looks. We're going to watch our console here for errors. See if it's looking for PNG files, see if it's looking for JSON files. It exploded on me. Exploded. It fucking died. So let's try it again. Maybe we won't watch the console this time. I don't know. Alright. Let's embiggen this. Let's jump in and see what we're looking at. So there's our topaz ore. Let's do game mode 1. We will check our new tab, and it should automatically be showing up there because it's under NG items. Still doesn't like it. Oh, wrong game mode. Let's do this. Let's drop a couple more. And, switch it back to game mode 0, and we'll mine it and see what happens. Okay, so it's still doing that. Oh, I know what's going on. I know what's going on. And I've already told you guys to look out for this, so I don't know. What the fuck? Shame on you. So, gems, we have to make sure that it is rendered. Reg item, we're going to call this NG. We're not going to. It is. That's what it is. Topaz stone. Close that up. We will save it. Now let's run it and see what happens. So, based on what we put in, really what we're looking for at this point is we're going to mine a topaz ore and it's going to drop a topaz stone. Just like that. We'll see. Fuck it. Who knows? Who knows? Topaz stone. Boom. There we go. We just need to do one thing real fast. And that, of course, is we need to come into our lang file. We need to put this bad boy in here. We're just going to call that topaz. Now let's see what happens. Embiggen. Take a little drink of ginger ale. Tasty. Single player, new world. That looks like it's showing up as topaz. Let me drop one. Mine it. There it is. We should see 3 go to 4 in our action bar. There we go. We got it. So, one more thing. One more thing, then I promise we're done. We're not going to get to multiple things on this episode, obviously. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, what we're going to do for Comic Man is we're going to come back and look at our block class from before. Okay, here we go. I got it. I figured it out. We're going to open file. I have actually dropped my old 172 into this beta folder. And we're going to come in, we're going to navigate to a block class. And we're going to go to the ore block class. And here we have quantity dropped. Now, will this work? Let's copy and paste it in and see what happens into our block class. So it's obviously not going to like Neocraft, so we're going to change that to ng blocks dot topaz ore. We're going to say if it is this, we're going to return this 4 plus random up to 5, otherwise 1. And the block class seems to like it, so we can come in and look at the block class. And from here we can actually look at quantity dropped. That looks good. Quantity dropped with bonus. Based on good fortune level, we're not farting around with fortune at this point. We're there. Okay, so let's just try it and see what happens. Make it bigger. New world. We're gonna have to change our game mode. Oh, no, wait, no we won't. We do want to change the time though, so we don't get killed. There we go. So now we should see anywhere between 4 and 5 of these. So let's come over here and give them to the chicken. There you go, chicken. So, you'll see that we had multiple ones drop. We had 6 actually drop from that one. I may need to work out the math a little bit on that one, but that is how we get an item to drop from a block. So, I've been talking about diamond this whole time. That brings to mind the, what is it from Thaumcraft? It's not amber. It's not cinnabar. It's something. It looks like that. Yeah. So, going from a block directly to an item. That's what we're looking at. So, there you go. That's how you do it. I'll tinker around with this math and try to figure it out exactly. But that gives you a pretty good idea of what you're looking at. We're going to save this up. We're going to go File. We're going to close all. And that wraps up this episode. Get item from block. That's how it's going to be named. So, deal. Lots of love. Like, comment, subscribe. Ask any questions if you have any down below. We'll take care of it. We, as in me, myself, and the community at large, because my community is awesome. And we will see you next time.